Welcome to the Hunger Games Appreciation Live show.
Welcome.
Did you guys like my homemade echo that I just did there?
Yeah, I was going to be like, to another year at the Hunger Games. Hunger Games.
All right, guys. Tonight we're going to be talking all things Hunger Games. So get your questions ready. We have a hashtag over on Twitter. We're going to be using the hashtag FullSplosion. Thanks to Christine for coming up with that hashtag. Fantastic.
You wanted
we're gonna
the people who don't get it.
Want me to explain it? So it's like full explosion because you're not hungry because you're full. Hashtag full explosion.
Anyways, we're going to start off this live show by first saying which book is our favorite from the trilogy, and then which movie is our favorite from the movie trilogy. So who wants to start us off? How about Christine?
I can start. I'm ready. Hi, I'm Christine, and my favorite movie and book are both Catching Fire.
Oh.
Yeah, my favorite book has always been Catching Fire because it's amazing, and then the movie was also amazing, and it still stands as, I think, like the best book-to-movie adaptation I've seen ever in the history of the world. Yes.
Yes, I agree with that. Kitty Cat.
Yeah, I agree with the movie. Hunger Games, the first book, was my favorite book. But yeah, the Catching Fire movie was the best.
We all have different favorite books. Mine is Mockingjay.
Really?
Yeah, which is an unpopular opinion, but I love that book.
I love Mockingjay. It's just not my favorite one.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. It's just not your favorite. Okay.
Some people hate it. I didn't hate it.
Yeah, there's a lot of haters for Mockingjay. But and my favorite movie is Catching Fire because it is perfection. It's so good. What, Christine?
We forgot lower thirds.
Oh, we did forget lower thirds. We are not prepared today.
Our screens
We're
are so
getting Hamilton brainwashed before this live show.
I was like, our screens are so naked. Why do they look so naked?
Mystery solved. Okay, now let's just move on to the next question, because I have another question. Who is your favorite character from the whole trilogy?
In the books or the movies?
Both, I guess. Do you have different characters that you liked from the books?
I guess I could pick a different one. My favorite from the books is Peeta Mellark, because who could not love Peeta Mellark? Honest.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. From the movies, I think mine is Finnick Odair, and it didn't used to be, but I'm suddenly in love with Sam Claflin, and now he's my favorite. What about you guys?
Kitty Cat?
Well, in the movies, I really liked Katniss a lot more. Like, in the books, she wasn't as likable, especially right away. When I first started reading Hunger Games for the first time, I was immediately put off by Katniss because, like, one of her first internal thoughts was about, like, drowning her sister's cat or something, and I was like, I don't like this girl.
I like that because I hate cats.
But I liked her a lot more in the movies. I don't know, I feel like Haymitch and Effie I also liked a lot more in the movies because of the actors. Like, they brought so much fun to those characters.
Definitely. My favorite character from the book trilogy was Finnick Odair, and they just had to kill him off. Thanks a lot, Suzanne Collins. I actually had a really, when I first read this trilogy, I had a really weird ship. I used to ship Katniss and Finnick Odair. I don't know why.
I think that's that weird. I thought about it for a minute, but then I
really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted them to get together, but it didn't happen. And in the movies, it's a toss-up between Katniss and Peeta, because like both those actors, Josh and Jennifer, both did like a fantastic job of just bringing them to life and just making them so lovable. So those are my favorite characters from the movies.
Yeah. I loved like movie Finnick. I loved watching him kick ass, like especially in the last movie. That scene in the pipes underground in the sewers was like, whoa. We finally got him like with the trident, really like whirling it around and doing choreography, and it's awesome.
And then he just had to die. Okay, we have a question from Lindsay, the Hufflepuffle. Hey, yo, girl. What's up? Her question is, which death was most devastating for you?
Oh, by far, Prim.
Prim? Anybody else?
Like, Prim's death was sad, but it was also, like, right at the end where there was all the confusion and, like, you couldn't exactly know what was going on. Like, it was so blunt and weird. Like, it wasn't as devastating for me, but Finnick dying, because we spent so much time with him. Like, we didn't spend a ton of time with Prim. We didn't, like, she wasn't, like, part of our crew. Finnick was.
Finnick was in our crew. He was in our squad. I would have to agree with Kat. I would say Finnick, but also I feel like it's kind of a tie with Rue, because that was like one of the first like really devastating deaths, and like she builds this relationship with Katniss, and it's just so heartbreaking when she like dies, and it's tragic and just awful.
Yeah, Rue was sad, but like at that point I was expecting. I thought that was a one book, so I was expecting everyone to go down. Yeah, what Kat said about Finnick and Prim being quickly and confusing, I felt that way about Finnick because it was like so quick and we barely saw it, and I thought maybe there was a chance that he'd be coming back, that he didn't actually die or something, but he did.
I wish that would have been the case.
I know. Prim was like, because she was such an important like reason for Katniss and everything that she did. I think that's why. And also, I was just like picturing the situation if it was like my sibling, and I was just like, this is horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, Finnick is the one that Suzanne Collins says that like if she might go back, like if she could, she might have saved him.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate when authors say stuff like that.
I know. It was
you can't take it back. What you did is done.
Yeah, it made me think that maybe in the movie we wouldn't have him die, but then he did anyway.
Yeah.
I like this question. This Julia at PETA Finnick 6 asks, "What's your favorite Hunger Games memory?" Do you guys have any like really nice memories associated with Hunger Games books?
Well, The Hunger Games was one of the first books that I reread back to back. Like, I resisted for a long, like, I didn't read the first book until Catching Fire came out, because, like, there was so much hype around it, and I didn't want to be disappointed. But then Catching Fire came out, and I was like, okay, I'll give this a try. And I read The Hunger Games, like, in one sitting. I loved it. Then I jumped right into Catching Fire. I read that straight through. I loved it. And then I read The Hunger Games again because I just like became obsessed in the course of like 2 days of reading nothing but this series.
Yeah. That's it.
For me, I have two like really prominent memories in my mind. The first one was when I finished Catching Fire. I was in Texas on a trip with my family, and I was like, we have to go to Walmart. I need Mockingjay right now. So we got Mockingjay, came back to the hotel. Everybody went to sleep, so I had to read Mockingjay in the bathroom because I didn't want to disturb anybody and like have the lights on or anything. So I read it in the bathroom. I don't know why, but that's just like stuck out to me. And then the other memory I have is I went to the Hunger Games release party in Texas, and one of the actors was there, but I can't remember her name, which I feel awful about. She played one of the side characters, but I can't remember her name. She was blonde.
Like Glimmer?
Wait, yeah, Glimmer. It was Glimmer, but I can't remember the actor's name. Levin Rambin. That's it. I got to meet her, and it was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Hunger Games is like the first series, I think, that I ever picked up from the very beginning on my own. You know, like even Harry Potter, I picked up when like 4 books were out, and like Twilight, I picked up. There were 3 books out. Like I picked up Hunger Games when it was only Hunger Games out, and I don't know. One of my favorite memories is like going to Barnes and Noble down the street at college the day that Catching Fire came out, and like going back home and just reading it straight through, and like having all the emotions, and then having to wait for Mockingjay. I just remember like the last page. It was like, there is no District 12. Like, what the fudge?
Oh man.
It was such a beautiful book. Like Mockingjay, I read that like at home, and I remember like my mom and Olivia walking in and being like, "Why are you crying?" But that wasn't as pleasant of an experience as like Catching Fire. There were so many loops, like you didn't know where she was gonna go with it because like what happens after the Hunger Games? Like that was so intense, and it's like they go and be the Hunger Games again, except with all like the all-star players.
So, did you guys have any crackpot theories in between books?
I know I've told this story a million times, but like I thought it was gonna be the last book. The first book was like the last book for me, so I didn't like theorize much because I was like, wait, what the? So I wasn't thinking that way when I read it. I was thinking like it was gonna conclude. I feel like I really didn't know where it was gonna go at all. I thought maybe that she would die at the end, but like she didn't. That's all I really remember. I was like, what are they gonna do in the third one? They can't do another games.
Little did you know.
Oh, I know.
I was convinced after reading Catching Fire and the Hunger Games, I was certain that Katniss's dad was still alive because.
You're telling me that.
Yeah, we had so many hints. Like first we had District 13, that was like this huge mystery that we're going to, and then we had the runaways who like faked their death in a factory explosion or something, and I was like, well, Katniss's father did that in the mine, of course. And like there was just so much emphasis on her father. I was convinced he was in District 13, and he was help her like lead the rebellion in the last book, and that did not happen at all.
I do remember.
He could still be alive. You never know.
You never know.
He's like hiding underground in the mines.
He's a mole person now. I do remember having the theory like during book 7 that District 13 existed and stuff, but like not like between books. Between books, I was just like, so they're gonna live in District 13 now? I don't know.
I can't remember if I had any theories or not.
It's been so like too long because 2010 was when I read Mockingjay, so the other ones were like 2009.
This was like the first book that I really theorized about, and like I was so passionate about my team. I was Team PETA. I wrote like this. This was back when I had a blog, and I wrote this huge essay about why I was Team PETA and why Team PETA was obviously the correct ship. And I had all these like citations from different pages about why like Gale was clearly the wrong choice.
That's amazing.
I was just like, I hate Gale. Gale is the Jacob. I hope Gale dies.
We have a question here from OMG BookTube. Yo, what up, girl? And she asks, if you could have a novella of one character, who would it be?
Finnick.
Finnick.
Or Joanna.
Or Joanna?
That's a
I've always just wanted like a prequel book with Haymitch. Like I just want to know like his experience with the Hunger Games. I would love that.
I'd like to watch his games.
Yeah.
That was one of the most disappointing things that was left out of the movies. Was like
his games. Yeah, it was really cool learning a little bit more about what happened to him. Didn't he threw an axe over and it came back and got the girl in the stomach or something?
The gravity field.
Yeah. And that's what helped Katniss in the end, like, break the field and everything.
Right.
Yeah, what was the question here? Oh, the novella.
Yeah.
Someone else asked Megan, at Megan Malone X, what's the funniest scene to you in the books, and then what's your funniest scene in the movies, do you think? Like, I know in the movies, the funniest scene for me was in the elevator when Joanna was undressing and Jennifer Lawrence was like, The books, that's like another story. Something in Catching Fire for sure.
Another scene they left out of the movie was in Catching Fire when like Katniss and Finnick like put mud all over their face and like tried to scare PETA when he was sleeping.
Oh my god, yeah! I forgot about that.
I forgot about that too.
Yeah.
I can't think of like any hilarious scenes from the movies right now. I don't know why. I'm like blanking.
It's the mahogany.
Yeah, I mean, basically anything with Effie in it, like, she brought the humor.
Effie ever said was fantastic. Remember in book 3 when, like, everything, not book 3, movie 3, where, like, everything was going to shit, and I forget what she was saying when they were, like, walking up to do that broadcast to distract, or, I don't know, it was the broadcast that he had dropped all the roses, and Katniss went up to the top. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And Effie was like, chin up, dimma, and she was like trying to give Katniss tips, and Katniss was just like, shut the fuck up.
Oh, man. We have a question from Arthur, and he asks, what do you think about Lionsgate wanting to make spin-offs?
I'm down.
I would only be down if Suzanne Collins, like, had her foot in it, you know, like, had a say in what was going to happen.
I would like her to be the screenwriter.
Yeah, because she did a fantastic job of writing the screenplays for the book, so.
Yeah.
I don't know if did she only do, which ones did she do? Did she did Hunger Games?
I can't remember, but.
Mockingjay? I feel like she had a say in Mockingjay, but I can't remember.
She's a screenwriter, so, like, I'm sure she. I can't remember.
Yeah, I mean, I would love it if she was involved, but even if she wasn't, like, Lionsgate did such a good job making these movies, and I feel like if they had a good screenplay, regardless of whether or not it was Suzanne Collins, like, they could make a good film. And, like, the world, there's so much to explore. Like, there wouldn't be any source material, so they could really do anything. I think it'd be interesting. I would be down for that.
Yeah.
Is Lionsgate responsible for the Divergent trilogy movies, though?
They are definitely attached. Wait.
I don't know how I would feel about it then.
I think it's not Lionsgate that's doing it too. It's like the people behind the movie that did a good job with catching fire.
If we had like the same team of people.
Like Francis Lawrence, the director. And I think Collins.
There's no source material for them to ruin, though. So, like,
yeah, that's true. That's true.
Whatever they do, like, maybe it's terrible, but they're not ruining they did such a good job making the series. Like, I'm satisfied with that. Whatever they put out is
fine. Okay.
Just started singing Hamilton.
I said I will never be satisfied.
Satisfied.
This is my channel. None of that here. Hamilton trash, go.
There's so many Hamilton references in your vlogs. You can't escape.
Okay, if you could only have one fruit as your weapon against someone in the Hunger Games, I assume, which fruit would you want and why?
I'd want a watermelon.
Watermelon, I'm so disappointed in you.
I could drop
His name is Pulling Bananas Books, for crying out loud.
I'd also, you know what, I'd also go for a pineapple. That could do some real damage.
Yeah,
I'd go for a coconut.
Or a coconut, yeah.
Except they'd be easy to throw, though.
Coconut, you could
like a watermelon.
I mean, you could eat, but, like, I feel like a watermelon, I could drop it on someone's head, and then I would also break it open so I can eat it and knock them out.
Yeah, but would you want to eat it after it broke open all over their head in the ground?
I'm starving. I think.
And also, you'd have to, like, the only option you'd really have of, like, throwing a watermelon on top of somebody is if you were, like, on a cliff. Like, there's no way you could pull it up a tree with you.
I plan on being in a tree. What are you talking about? I can make
How are you going to get that watermelon up there with you? You're going to climb up that tree with a watermelon?
I'm going to take off my jacket and make a contraption where I pulley system it up.
And then
in the meantime, somebody's going to come up behind you and stab you.
Yeah, someone's going to stand directly under the tree. You're like, come a little bit closer. I can't really throw this watermelon. A little bit closer, a little bit closer.
Just a little bit closer. Are you going to lure them in with your watermelon? I'll give you a piece of this. Just kidding. Die.
Okay, like you could do that much more with a coconut.
Coconuts are super hard. And they're
super high, they're
super throw them.
Yeah, but what are you going to do? Just chill on the ground? You guys are going to get eaten down there.
No.
It's meant to be on the ground.
I'm going to disguise myself, or I could climb up in a tree.
I'm going to be in a tree. Like, looking like tree bark.
Okay. Okay, which one of you would last the longest in the games? Asks RJ.
I would hide and last until I starve to death.
Which would be like 2 hours because you have to eat like every 2 hours.
I would gather some food in my backpack so I could last.
I feel like you would just starve to death, to be honest. You get in the game and be in the game for like 10 minutes and be like, I'm hungry. And you know that's true. Where's my oatmeal? I need a banana. I need a granola bar.
Okay, but if it's a life or death, and I could just sit in the tree so that I wouldn't like faint. I'd just be like in the tree.
You faint and then fall off the tree.
I tie myself to it like catnip.
Okay.
What would you do? I don't see you with any strategizing.
I wouldn't want to be in a tree. I would find like a cave or something to like hide in.
A cave could flood.
Well, I'll deal with that.
You know, I've been watching a lot of Survivor recently. I've been like binge watching it, so I think that I would win. Just saying.
Excuse me, I've watched Survivor for the last 20 years.
The last 20 years though.
Okay,
like I've been watching it back to back, so I've been building up my skills here. So
I know who survived.
Silly God.
So basically, I'm going to get you guys to join my team, and then I'm going to backstab both of you, and then I'm going to win.
I'm going to burn your socks, and you're not going to have any.
Well, I'm just going to make sure that you don't have any food, so you better watch out.
I have a watermelon. It's going to last days.
No. Okay. Next question. New or old covers? How do you guys feel about the new covers?
I hate new covers.
Yeah, I don't really like the new paperbacks, like the shiny new ones. I'm not a huge fan of them.
They'll stay closed.
Yeah, exactly.
They stay closed.
Yeah.
I like that they're shiny, but like the old covers are great. You don't need to change it, and they stay closed.
Guys, if we were in the Hunger Games, would we team up and then eat berries so that they make us all win?
I would trick you guys. I would be like, okay, let's all eat the berries, and you guys would eat the berries, and I'd be like, haha, suckers.
I would fake eat the berries. We're gonna eat some berries. We're not catnip.
I would shove them in your mouth.
It would only work.
I've become such a backstabber because of Survivor.
I'm not sharing my watermelon with anyone. Excuse me.
I'll just hit you with my coconut.
Well, you're gonna pass out, and then I'm just gonna be like, well, later, girl. And then take your watermelon. So I love how we're still talking about how if we were in the game, how we would win.
BookTube says, do you have a favorite song from the soundtrack?
Well, definitely not the pop version of the song that they did.
It's pretty Eyes Wide Open. And Yellow Clipper Beat. Eyes Wide Open by Taylor Swift.
Oh, you're talking about the actual soundtrack. Yeah, Safe and Sound. Safe and Sound is my favorite, I think. But I also really like the.
Wait, do you know Eyes Wide Open? I like Safe and Sound too, but Eyes Wide Open's really good.
I like Eyes Wide Open, but Safe and Sound I like more, I think.
I didn't listen to a lot of the songs. Like,
I forgot about Safe and Sound.
I also like the Lord song, but I can't remember the name of it. Yellow Flicker Beat.
Flicker Beat. Yeah, I just said that one.
That one, and there was another one that that Boom Clap girl came out with. Charlie XCX. Yes. I can't remember the name of the song, but I really liked that one.
Well, my shirt says, "Mind if I slither in?" Someone asked. I think it was OMG BookTube that asked. Let's see, yeah. Oh, what's with the Draco shirt? Not what does it say. I was just wearing it today.
If you could choose any company to sponsor you during the Hunger Games, which would you choose and why?
Ooh, I know. A camping food company and a camping gear company.
But which one, Christine?
I don't know. I don't camp.
Gotta be specific.
A tent company. A grocery store.
A tent company?
Ralph's. Ralph's sponsor me in the Hunger Games.
Mormon.
Ralph's is a grocery store. How funny is that, George? I'll never be hungry. I'm sponsored by the grocery store.
I'm trying to look up some kind of weapon company right now.
Yeah, but if you're hungry.
No, I would want to be sponsored by the U.S. military.
Same.
Ralph's is more unique, and they can give me a frying pan, which will be my weapon of choice.
Well, we're just gonna take you out and then eat all your food that you got from Ralph's.
I'll get endless watermelons delivered to me via parachute, so I won't have to create something to lift them up to my tree. They'll come right to me. And I'll store avocados and lure a cat there, and then hit her with a watermelon.
Hey, well, you just told me you're
So in other words,
I'll get some
you're
diet,
the first out of this game, girl.
diet Coke and get just. And
coffee would.
well, I'll also have that, because Ralph's.
So you're gonna brew me coffee?
No, they'll send it to me in a cup. There's a Starbucks in Ralph's.
So you're basically just saying that they're just gonna send you like a replica of one of their stores.
Oh, in the Hunger Games, Christine's plan is to get Starbucks parachuted in so she can lure me there and then hit me with a frying pan and or watermelon.
Ralph's is the best sponsor. And the book says, sort our main cast into Hogwarts Houses. Which is interesting. I think Peter Millard actually might be Slytherin because he is very cunning in his words and shit. And I think Katniss might be Griffin because she kind of does stuff and doesn't really know where she's going.
Yeah, Katniss is definitely a Gryffindor. I'm surprised that you say Peeta is a Slytherin, though. I wouldn't think that.
I think he's too clever to be a Hufflepuff.
I see it though, because remember when they were like on the train and Peeta was like all waving to them and Candace was like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "One of them might be a rich sponsor." Like, Peeta thinks.
He's always thinking. He did that. Pulled that move with the
True.
pregnancy. He pulled that move with the asking her to marry him. He's
True.
Being Slytherin doesn't mean you're evil.
I know. I need to like get rid of that like stigma in my mind.
It's all about like how you treat the situations around you. I feel like.
True. Okay, you opened my eyes to it. I see it.
What do you think Finnick is? Maybe Finnick's a Ravenclaw. He's a smarty pants.
He's a smarty pants. But I also feel like he's really cunning too, like a Slytherin.
Yeah, but he's not as like. I feel like he's not. He like is calculating, but not in that way.
He's that calculating.
I don't know. Well, the thing is, his whole. Yeah, I don't think he's as calculating. I think he's really smart. He does that whole thing with the women and the secrets, but like he's doing it to survive.
Yeah.
But we think President Snow would be
Slytherin, duh.
Slytherin.
He's too like evil, cunning, and calculating and poisoning people to get ahead. I think he's definitely too ambitious for his own good. Who else do we have in our main crew? Hamish?
Prim.
Hamish, you think he's a Gryffindor?
Yeah, I feel like he's a Gryffindor.
I feel like he's a Gryffindor.
What about Prim?
Yeah. Prim?
Hufflepuff, maybe?
Hufflepuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's very loyal to Candace, and she's always helping people.
Yeah.
What about Gale?
Oh, Gail, that bitch. He might be.
Dale might be a Hufflepuff too.
Well, I think he's too like aggressive for Hufflepuff. I think.
There are aggressive Hufflepuffs.
Yeah, but like not in a mean way like he is sometimes. He doesn't think about people's feelings first, and I think Hufflepuffs are like very kind by nature. I think
I
he's.
remember when all the Hufflepuffs turned against Harry?
Well, they didn't like turn against him in like such an evil, like I'm gonna make weapons of mass destruction and not care what they do sort of way. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like he might be Ravenclaw, because he's not like aggressive, but he does.
I
He
don't
is
think he's
smart.
smart enough to be Ravenclaw. I feel like he was more going along with.
Well, maybe he's Gryffindor. He
Maybe
kind
he's all of them.
of just does things, you know. He is kind of jockey.
Yeah.
Too. Maybe he's Gryffindor. He's brave. He like takes the lashes without any.
That was not a smart thing, so he's not Ravenclaw.
And Gryffindor does do shit like that. Like they'll do it and without thinking, and then get in trouble and take it. I think he's Gryffindor.
Yeah.
Gryffindor, my Gryffindor.
This person, Chloe, she asks, would you recast anyone? If so, who? Who would you recast?
At first, I didn't like Jennifer Lawrence, but then I saw her act, and she was awesome. So.
I think everybody had that reaction though. Like when they first heard that she like got the role of Katniss, we're all like, "What? Who is this girl?"
She didn't look like her at first.
No, yeah, exactly.
Recast anyone. Like I would want to add Madge in to the first movie.
Yeah.
As far as casting, I need to charger. I'll be right back.
Did you guys like Peeta? Because I didn't like Peeta either when he was casted. I actually really, really, really wanted the guy from Weeds. I used to know his name, and I can't remember his name now. Let's see. It was like Silas or something? Actor from Weeds. Blonde. Silas. Okay, Silas is his name on Weeds. What is his real name? Hunter Parrish.
Hunter Parrish.
He's beautiful, and he was like Peeta in my mind, so that's why I really wanted him. And he's also a really great actor. But no, they didn't.
I was like iffy on Josh Hutcherson at first too, but like he pulled it off. He did an amazing job.
And I think Hunter Parrish could have done just as great of a job. He's just like a little more attractive Peeta, I feel like, because they went like this Peeta's like shorter and he's cute, but he's not like Gale, who's like Chris Hemsworth. I mean, not Liam Hemsworth.
I'm not a huge fan of Liam Hemsworth. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I'm not a huge fan of his acting.
I'm not a huge fan of him, but like he is very pretty.
Yeah, that's why I didn't like him.
That doesn't matter. I wanted to know if he's a good actor or not.
I know, I want him to be a good actor too, but that doesn't really matter to me because he was like not even in it. Like when Gale was casted, I didn't really care. When Peeta was casted is when I was like, oh, I really wanted Hunter Parrish.
Anybody else that you would recast? I can't think of anybody else that I would recast.
Haymitch was not who I picked. Like I pictured like a Robert Downey Jr. Haymitch, but I think he was a great Haymitch, so I don't remember him. I'm trying to think of like other main characters. I think everyone was great. I mean, Prim, I didn't picture her to be like Prim that we saw, but like she was fine. She wasn't really in it much.
Right.
And I love Willow. Her name's Willow, right? After Dancing with the Stars. She's so cute.
She should have stayed on that show longer.
She was so good on Dancing with the Stars.
I watched her on it.
And she was so disappointed because she was doing so well. I was so upset. It's just like not enough people know you, girl, because it's like a popularity contest a lot.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Another question from OMG BookTube. Would you ever volunteer? Depends on the situation.
Well, volunteer for your sibling, I think.
Yeah, I would definitely volunteer for my sibling. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
Kat, would you? You're like shaking your head. No.
I mean, that would be sad and it would like suck for them, but it's like with Peeta's situation. Peeta had siblings that didn't volunteer for him. Like volunteering is really unusual, and you know my siblings aren't like young and fragile enough that I would feel like I need to step in and protect them. It wasn't like a Katniss stepping in to protect little 12-year-old Prim. Like my siblings have just as good a chance as I do, so.
If you could be allies with a character from any book/movie during the games, who would it be?
I would be an ally with Katniss.
You could from any book though, like any book
Oh,
ever.
any book? Oh, okay. Jace.
Jace.
He's an unbeatable ally. Or is he? But Jace has that power. She's got those angel blood.
Yeah.
We're on top of shit.
I'd want like Harry Potter or something. Somebody with magical abilities.
A wand?
Yeah, you can.
I don't think you can because you
There's
can't.
an exception to the rule. He's gonna have Cinna as his like person, and he's gonna sneak it in.
No, the wand.
Gonna pin it to him.
It would have to be in the cornucopia.
You get a personal item.
No, but a wand is a weapon. It would have to be in the cornucopia, and you'd have to fight for it. Just like her bow. Just like anything.
Well, he would fight for it and get it, and it'd be fine.
I don't know if he would because he doesn't usually have to fight. He can usually use his magic. And on the other hand,
Sorry, Kat, were you talking?
Let's see what else. Hashtag full explosion watermelon.
Just saw that one.
Oh,
He just said hashtag Team Jesse.
excuse me. What about me? I want to win.
Team Watermelon, boo.
Shut up, team. Whatever you are. You don't even have a team.
Coconut.
Coconut.
Coconut Potter.
Watermelon Jace Riccio. Let's see. Oh, I just saw one and I lost it. If you could throw one real life villain into the Hunger Games, who would it be? There's already so many villains.
Ooh.
Everyone's a villain. Let's see.
I would throw President Snow in there so we get a taste of his own medicine.
Oh, well, real life.
Real life. Oh, real life. Mm.
Let's see. Hitler. If you could bring a Harry Potter character to the games, obviously I'm taking Hermione. Shot Hermione. She's on Team Watermelon. Up in the tree. We did a levitation spell to get up there. She Wingardium Leviosa me.
So I'll take Voldemort.
Your team is evil.
But we're gonna win!
No, we defeat Voldemort in the end.
Okay, but it's not the end. It's book one.
In a strictly booktube Hunger Games, who would you form an alliance with to survive?
That's tough because we're all book people.
I feel like we have to choose each other. The Booksplosion team. Right?
Yeah, obviously. That's what I was saying before when you said you were going to betray me.
Well, I mean, we're going to ally, and then I'm going to betray you in the end, so...
No, there can be no betraying. We have to break the system. That's what has to happen.
We'll break the system. Fine. Play your boring game. Your boring watermelon game.
It's not boring. It's clever.
Whatever you say.
Full of water, which you need to survive, and your coconut doesn't have as much juice as my watermelon. I can.
Okay, but you guys have to make an exception for me. No Hamilton.
What? There is no Hamilton. What are you talking about?
You can't make Hamilton references while we're in the game.
You can't control when a Hamilton reference comes out of your mouth. It just happens. You'll know once you start the Hamilton.
I'm gonna flip on y'all.
Death doesn't discriminate against the sinners in the same.
I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
You like this song. This is your song.
That is my song. My only song from Hamilton that I will ever listen to. I haven't even listened to it all the way through.
You listen to the Schuyler Sisters.
The booktube version of it.
And the regular version.
Oh, I like this question. Megan asks, which training station would be your priority if you were going to go in as a tribute? If you were a tribute. Would you do like the cake station that Peter had?
No.
I would want the station that teaches me what's edible and what's not edible. I think that's the most useful.
I feel like I'd research that beforehand, though. We can read it in a book.
What book? You're in District 12. You don't have a book.
I'll steal Katniss's book. I guess I also want to practice with a weapon. I want to practice with an archery weapon.
But you're not guaranteed to have a weapon, especially not a specific weapon.
Well, I want the weapon that I could shoot someone from far away.
I mean, really, no matter which one you choose as your main one, you're still losing out by not doing the other ones. You know?
Well, you can do like 2. Like, you have time for 2.
Yeah.
I think we can do the berry eating thing and do a weapon. And like, I don't know, I don't want hand-to-hand combat with people, so I'd want like something you could shoot from far away. That's why I really liked her archery thing. Like, you can't have a gun, so an archery is the best option there.
I mean, I probably wouldn't need all the training because I'm a natural, so. Just kidding.
I mean, I'm sponsored by the
kidding.
military, so maybe I will have a gun.
OMG,
I mean,
pick me, Team Jesse. Pick me. How rude.
Yes, Team Me. That's a great GIF. I hate it.
How would the Hunger Games be different if the characters had Pokemon Go in the games? They'd just be playing stupid Pokemon Go.
Christine would take out all of us because she would be the only one not playing.
I don't play, so I would get you all.
You'd catch us all.
That was good.
You don't have a Pokemon to protect yourself. I could get you with like a Caterpie.
Your Pokemon doesn't exist, Kat. It's just on your phone.
It exists in the real world. It shows it in my apartment.
It doesn't show it in me eyes, so it don't affect me. Let's see.
What one thing from home would you bring to the arena if you were a tribute?
Ooh, let's see. If it can't be a weapon. Or can it be a weapon?
No, let's say it can't be a weapon. Like, it has to be something that reminds you of home.
Okay, that sounds sentimental. I was going to say my scissors, because I can always use them.
That's kind of sentimental. Doesn't it remind you of
my scissors? Yeah.
It's also kind of a weapon.
It's been with me.
My vlogging camera.
Just vlog the experience.
It run out of batteries.
I periscope till the end.
My battery would die before the end.
I would bring like a big jug of Poland spring water if I could get it through as a sentimental item.
Can I bring my dog? Does that count?
No, he'll die. Why would you want to bring him there?
Wrong.
I was gonna
Well,
kill
we die together because he'd be in our group. We'd make it to the end, guys.
No, what if you got so starving you had to kill him?
No.
Someone would.
It'd be fine. No, stop.
I know. Don't bring him. I'm telling you not to bring him.
I'll bring Chandler because he reminds me of home.
No, you can't bring
He
Chandler.
reminds me of my New Jersey home.
We'll stay safe and sound. We'll stay safe and sound.
I'll bring Chandler. It'll be fine, Christine.
OMG, Book 2 tweeted this GIF. Christine, when I tweeted this it's perfect. Look at it. It's in the
I can't see it.
text.
Is it? Oh, I see it. That is perfect.
Let's see. I hate to be the guy, but can you be that guy? But can you answer more plot-ish questions and less hypothetical? There aren't any plot-ish questions coming in, guys.
I like the fun questions. Just saying. I hate to be that guy that just likes the fun questions, but I'm that guy.
I don't see any plot questions, honestly.
I just saw one, so I'll wait, where was it? Oh yeah. What do you think happened to the district systems after Mockingjay?
I think it took a while to break those down, probably.
I think that they started harvesting watermelons and
Maybe they started
living off watermelons.
I'm sure they moved toward a democracy type government, because even though he's called the president, it's no way like a regular democracy. He's like a tyrant.
Like
So,
they're already so established, and they have their boundaries and what they do. Like I'm sure they stayed for a long time.
trying to work
They
it out.
more freedom and more liberties, and it wasn't as like
Hopefully, yeah,
protect-
hopefully they like move towards like a state-ish system rather than calling them districts.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Since they're so ingrained in everyone, they probably might have stayed that way for a while. But I'm sure stuff changed, but it probably took a long time to change.
What do you guys think was going on in the rest of the world while America was all Hunger Games out? Like,
Ooh.
You know what?
it's like business as usual, and they're just like, America's at it again.
Well, it's always think about
That was
it.
America.
Because if America like got destroyed in like I don't know nuclear warfare, was the rest of the world involved? Are they still rebuilding? Like what's going on? That's something I always wonder in these dystopian things, because so many of them take place in the United States, and we all get to see anything outside of our borders.
That's why I really liked the Legend series, because we got to see so many other countries and like what was going on, and there's so many like political dynamics.
Yeah, so I want to read Rook because it takes place in Paris and it's a dystopian. And I think that would be really interesting.
Yeah, exactly. Emma said, "What was your favorite part of the clock?" I love this question because I always think about my favorite part of the clock.
Christine, what's your favorite part of the clock?
Well, I always can't really choose. But the part that I'd want to be in is the lightning part, because that's the least like deadly section, because you just avoid the lightning. But like, if you had to be tortured by one of these sections, which would you be tortured in? Or which would you even live through? And I think the only one really is like the torture with either the lightning one or the torture with the noises, the birds.
Oh my gosh, that one, the jab days.
It's like
Crazy.
the psychological torture is like you can live through that. Like you might get messed up, but like the death fog or the crazy monkeys, like those kind of things you just use to live through it.
Yeah, and like the blood one, like it looked like they were drowning. And they made it sound like they're gonna drown in that blood that was raining on them. So I could live through that if you didn't run.
What about the one where there's just like a giant wave that crashes through every 12 hours?
It's a tsunami. So like you can't be there when it crashes, but you can be there otherwise. Well, that's the whole thing. You can be anywhere otherwise except during that hour. So you can't live through the tsunami in that hour.
I'd rather stay on the beach.
The beach.
Like the beach was not a good option because it was so open and like vulnerable, but at least you don't have killer monkeys or death fog.
What talent would you perform for the game makers?
Ooh, I would do a tap dance.
Okay. You do you, bananas.
Or maybe I'd climb something. That's a skill. I'd climb something.
That was gonna be mine. I'm good at climbing things.
I'm good at climbing too.
But I didn't think about it until you said that, so.
So it wasn't gonna be yours.
No, it wasn't. I was just stealing yours. Kat, what about you? What would you do?
I don't know. I would
Would you drink? You would make coffee.
espresso anyone.
From mud.
Just serve them all. Here, have some coffee.
I don't know. I'd probably use a weapon and try to show off with that.
Yeah.
But I'd show them my Pokemon Go collection.
I want to see all my Pokemons I've collected.
Look how many Pokemon I have.
And like show them your skills in the room. Do you think the monstrous things the tributes had to do to survive still allows them to be redeemable humans or tarnished?
I think they're all redeemable because they're a forced situation.
They were doing what they had to do to survive.
Yeah. Oh my god. This is irrelevant. But Wicked West book said, what if the Jabberjays were singing Hamilton?
I would die.
Anyway, sorry, someone else was like, no more watermelon or Hamilton references, please.
I can't promise that I won't make another reference to it. I'm sorry. Okay, this person asks, do you think the Hamilton and crew could make it through the Hunger Games?
The Hamilton crew?
Yeah.
Alex,
I don't know.
We'll find a way. Oh my god. OMG Book 2 sent me a gif of me in front of the game makers, and it's like singing in the rain, the tap dance. If you were the writer of Mockingjay, how would you have killed Prim and Finnick and Snow?
I wouldn't have. I would have rewritten the whole thing.
Well, what if you had to kill them?
If I had to kill them?
You had to kill them. How would you have done it? I would have killed Prim in like a way cooler way, like defending Katniss.
I would have killed Finnick in a cooler way like that. Like,
Yeah.
Everyone defending Katniss.
Maybe like Prim and Finnick teaming up to help save Katniss or something.
Oh, you know what I would have done with Snow? I would have tied him to a post near the train tracks and then had a train run into him.
and would you be off to the side, like, twirling your mustache?
And would this be all in black and white?
The whole experience. I'd make a short film about it.
Somebody asks, craziest plot twist.
I think
There is your District 12.
going back into the Hunger Games was a big plot twist for me.
Yeah.
I think, for me, you guys might have seen it coming, but when she kills President Coin, wait, is it? Yeah, Coin. Wait, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, I was like, is that her name? I'm questioning myself. But that one just like, I was like, what are you doing? Blew my mind.
In the books, it was more like, in the movies, it was more obvious that, like, Coin was kind of a bad guy, like an up-and-coming villain.
Yeah.
But in the books, it was much more subtle. Like, yeah, Katniss kind of butted heads with her, but it wasn't super obvious that Coin was going to be, like, the next villain if Katniss didn't stop her.
I knew in that meeting when Katniss voted yes for the Hunger Games that she was going to kill Coin.
Yeah.
And, like, when her and Haymitch looked at each other and were like, yes, I was like, yeah, this bitch is going to die.
Do we want to announce? I mean, I know we've already announced
Oh yeah,
it.
we're getting close here to the end.
Yeah.
Let's announce our next book of the month.
I knew
Books
that
that-
was
We've already
13.
announced it everywhere, but
We've already talked about it.
it's And I Don't Get by Kirsten White.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Christine, you got to talk to Kirsten White, so can you tell us a little bit about this book?
Yeah, I will
I know
tell you
know a
about
little
it.
bit.
Because like it's been such like a refreshing read, and I haven't had the time to finish it yet. So I'm on page like what page am I on? 250 or something. I'm in the middle of it, but it's the story of Vlad the Impaler, who you probably don't know if Vlad the Impaler was a woman. So it's really really cool to watch from when she was born on, because she's a woman, so automatically the world's against her because it takes place in the 1400s. But she's like so strong and so determined, and it's like. There's this great sibling relationship. It's told from the point of view of her and her brother. And her brother is like the complete opposite of her. He's like very like loving and soft, you know, and she's just like everyone is against her and she doesn't give a crap. She's just gonna plow through. And it's really cool to watch her personality develop, like, and why she could become certain ways. And right now I'm kind of like, she's like 14 now, and like, you know, in this world, like, as soon as you get your period, you're usually, like, married off. And, you know, she's fighting for that not to happen. Like, she doesn't want to be owned, and it's really cool.
Sounds very interesting.
Yeah, and also all the stuff with the Ottoman Empire is going on. I'm just focusing on Lada right now. A lot of historic stuff going on in there. I don't know much about the Ottoman Empire, so I've been learning, and I love to learn.
Yay, learning.
It's a series, right? Like, they're
3 books.
3 books.
3 books.
And like, yeah, if you don't know, Vlad the Impaler is known as one of the most violent leaders of all times. So Lada is going to be very brutal when the time comes, and I'm excited.
Nice. Awesome. Well, we don't have a live show set in stone for this book yet, but we'll be tweeting and Instagramming once we know when that live show is. So keep an eye out on our social needs because we'll be announcing it there.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Pick up this book and join us next month.
Yeah, it's definitely like a really fun read so far. Like I thought it was going to be really depressing, and I thought I was going to hate the main character, but I don't at all.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Should we take like one more question before we?
Yeah, let's take one more good question. Finding a good question. Finding a good question.
Let us see. Oh, I forgot about Peeta's mechanical leg because it wasn't in the movies.
Yeah.
That was really sad for me when that had to happen. Oh my God! Look, someone threw a watermelon at someone.
Somebody threw a watermelon at somebody.
No, it's like a gif.
Oh, I see that gif.
I love it.
Don't hit me with a watermelon. She's threatening my life. If Jesse the reader keeps bashing the watermelon idea.
Look at those beautiful halves that I could eat.
This is a pretty good question. How do you think our modern government could degenerate into that of Panem's? What would it take to stop such a regression? Very deep question.
Well, to stop a regression, I think that regression comes out of times of extreme chaos.
Yeah.
Like people need to. It's just like a desperate need to gain control, and so people will follow one person like that if they're desperate for order. That's what happened with like Hitler. You know, like everyone was depressed. They needed somebody to look up to and follow.
I think it would really take some like huge catastrophe, like another world war or some kind of like insane natural disaster that like really, really affected our country, the world, to get to that point. Because right now, like, we're so busy arguing over who has the right to marry, like we're not gonna get to that point where we're all following like.
Yeah, you have to be like hit an extreme low, you know, like hit rock bottom to find something, to be that desperate to change everything that drastically.
Yeah, for sure.
I like this question though from Ross really quick. Would you have liked Francis Lawrence to remake the first film without the shaky camera with his twist on it? And I would love that. I would love.
Yes, please. That would be amazing.
Oh, the shaky camera really, like, I feel like I don't know, it was detrimental to the story. I feel like you didn't get the whole story just because everything was like.
Yeah.
I know, and I understand that director had a vision, and that's why he did it and stuff, but I still want to see it. I want, like, my eyes. That's why you write.
Your eyeballs need it.
That's why you see movies.
It was still a great adaptation, though, like, overall.
The actors were great. Yeah, and the script was great. I just couldn't see. I felt like I was in a dream. You know when you're in a dream and things are blurry and you, like, can't see clearly? Yeah. That's how I felt like the whole time. I was like, I can't see! Stop moving!
All right, well, that was our Hunger Games Appreciation live show. Thank you guys for joining us this past month and for bearing with us because we have been super busy and this live show was super delayed, but we hope that you guys enjoyed it. Join us next month for our live show for Anti-Darken by Kirsten Y. We're super excited to read this book with you guys. I'm Jesse.
I'm Christine.
I'm Kat.
And that was our Hunger Games live show. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.